Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MJ Games, and welcome to a little short mini series that I'm going to do. It's potentially 3 to 4 episodes, and this was uploaded to the workshop in February, as this is the start to a Giga coaster, and it simply says Giga Challenge, and it was uploaded to the workshop by Angry Kilo 40 Ounce, and he worked in partnership with Cybercrunch, or better known as Batreg, on YouTube, at kind of creating the we're kind of learning how to create this kind of really cool, unique Giga coaster structure, and especially with the lighting, which I'll show in a second. And at the time of recording this, I don't know if this video would have already been released or it's going to be released soon, but Cybercruncher or Batreg is going or created a Giga coaster using this initial model, and I am going to review it. So either that's already been out and it's in the description below, or it will be coming out soon. But one thing I want to point out here that's just amazing is the lighting. This is outstanding. This is the best lighting I've seen on a Giga coaster, just hands down, or any coaster. And one thing that they did was they placed, let's see if we can see it there. What is that? Oh, okay, so they placed lights inside of the coaster supports to help give it that glow. But then this right here, if you're wondering, because for anybody who's been on Orion or seen Orion at night, I mean, it looks absolutely stunning. So like if we delete this for a second, this took 512 lights all combined together to give it that really cool kind of fully connected look. And so this to me is a lot like Orion. Now Orion doesn't have this small kind of strip going up. That's more what you see on the B&M Hypers. But it looks really, really cool. And how that is created, which you could just use one of those coaster, I guess one of these. Actually, is this the... Okay, no. So what they've used is the special effect snow flurry and just doubled it up essentially to kind of give it that cool, unique kind of look with how the kind of edges of that look. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started building my custom design and layout with this. So in this first episode, I am going to build, it's just going to be about the layout, and my initial idea is to kind of create a layout that is very Giga-like in the first half and then more Hyper-like in the second half. What I mean by that is more about speed and turns and stuff in the first half.
So I've
Second half more
decided
about
throughout
airtime.
this speed
So I'm
build
going
to
to get
kind of
started
talk
with the
through it a little
speed
bit
build,
and,
and I'll see you guys
just kind
there.
of give you guys my thoughts on what we're seeing here on the screen. Sometimes I might ramble a little bit just because I'm not used to doing these speed builds. But my first thought with the, to have one good airtime hill, which I'm not really super happy with that. It's kind of the shaping of it's kind of maybe too prolonged at the top. But then I kind of wanted to go with this Fury 325 style treble cleft, but not exact to where it does like a 180, where it does more of like almost a 220 or so kind of degree turnaround. And so the point, as I said before, of me with this first half was I wanted to be all about speed and turns and kind of quick movements. Because it seems like the Giga coasters, and I could be wrong about this, this is just based off my experience, that the Giga coasters are based more around just speed and kind of having some overbanked hills and kind of going through those elements quick. Whereas Hyper is built around airtime. Now, Hyper coasters do have their moments at the end where they kind of have some helixes or different moments, but in general, the Hyper coasters are just absolutely filled with airtime, and the Giga coasters are not. So now we get to the point where I'm trying to start working and adding in all this airtime. And so I am really happy with the overall product, but this part, as you'll see, I'll come back and change because it just goes really too quick with that kind of turnaround there, that kind of bank turn. And I'd love to know how you guys go about building coasters and stuff, because with this, I'm not using 4-meter pieces. I'm using longer track pieces and sometimes shorten them or making them a little bit longer depending on kind of the track piece. But then I wanted to have a couple little airtime moments here at the end, and I end up changing up this part just a little bit as well. And at the end of the video, there will be a POV. So I know you're kind of seeing it in fast pace right now. So now you see me going through and smoothing it. And to be honest, like there wasn't a ton of smoothing that was needed. I go through the whole layout once, or I guess through the whole layout and back one time. So I'm actually going to skip ahead a little bit right now because you guys can kind of see the idea of how I'm smoothing this out. I'm going to skip ahead to after the smoothing is complete. So now that I'm done smoothing it out, you see that after I rewatched the video of the POV, I was not happy with how this ending worked out. So it takes me a little bit to try to get the ending to where it's smooth and doesn't kind of jolt at the end, but also have a little bit of a airtime element that I was hoping for. And yeah, so I feel like this is kind of what happens every once in a while when I build. Is there's certain parts I'm not necessarily that happy with, and that's what you'll see. Like the most of the stuff the rest of the way is me kind of trying to adjust certain things, and sometimes I'll take a whole kind of section of track and either raise it, lower it, move it one direction, because I want to try to make it, try to shape it to more of the shaping that I want. And this is honestly one of the first times that I built without using supports, and I honestly really love it. So now I see why like Theme Park Viral and some of these amazing PC creators that just create these amazing coasters always build without the supports, even if they're doing custom supports afterwards. It gives you a lot more visual ability to kind of see and maneuver, move the camera a little bit to get different views of it. I need to check the stats at the end, but I can't remember how many feet this actual coaster is, but it's got to be a pretty long coaster. And I have to change the block section part at the end. But as you can see now, that's still a pretty tight turn, and I just wasn't happy with kind of how it turned. And this part wasn't bad though, because it didn't have too much of a speed kind of going around that part. I am going to be interested to see how that kind of area is going to work out that I was just working at, because when I do remove or add the supports back on, just to get a visual of it, there's track supports everywhere in that section. So it's going to be interesting kind of custom supporting that area of the coaster. And so you just see me smoothing back over a couple areas. It's kind of the areas that I adjusted a little bit. As I said before, I just wanted to make sure and add a lot of airtime with this Giga, because to me, if you ask me, would you rather ride a Giga coaster or Hyper? I'd rather ride a Hyper. I just love the airtime element, and I feel like Gigas are lacking on that, comparatively speaking. So now you see me adjusting kind of that other turnaround. And the issue sometimes when you smooth stuff out too much is it kind of removes some of that snap that you might want. So I kind of accidentally removed part of that. I couldn't quite get it back the way I wanted, but overall still I'm really happy with the design and layout. It is interesting how the first drop's 340-ish feet. The second drop is 250 feet in the air. So it's like the second drop on the coaster is bigger than 98% of the other coasters in the world. Actually, more than that, 99, probably 0.9% of the other coasters in the world. So it's really kind of interesting to see just the massive scale of this coaster.
So here is the layout that you've seen me create, and the next episode will be doing some custom supporting. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm going to end up having to custom support all of it. So once you do a little bit, you kind of feel like you then have to do the rest of it. But it's not too bad once you kind of get the initial supports. The worst one's going to be these first couple of hills. Doing this whole area is not going to be bad at all. Like, that's going to be pretty quick. But you'll see during this speed build and stuff. But overall, I'm happy with the layout. There are a couple parts, like I think here, I wish I could have gotten a little bit better of a bank right there. Ooh, that comes through fast right there. And I like these airtime hills here because I think it has just enough speed as it kind of reaches the top to where you really get some good airtime and really float out of your seat. And then I do like this change I made here. Just kind of gave it a little bit more space to kind of breathe in a sense instead of kind of whipping too fast around that turn. And I wanted to try to get it, have a real kind of whip to it right here, but every time I kept smoothing it out and would adjust it. But that's not bad. But like I said, happy with this layout. I think the only thing that I'm not sold on is how I have this first hill, this first airtime hill. Maybe it'll look better with custom supports, but I feel like it's too prolonged at the top. As now as we see the coaster, and I'll have to adjust with the block sections and stuff. So it looks like, it looks like that's what I need to do is make that a block section right there. That's what I'll have to do. Because it looks like the block section isn't until down at this part, which, there we go, yeah. Which is why the coaster is waiting at the top of the hill. So I'm going to have to adjust that. Yeah, so maybe I can do something a little bit different with that. So we'll see. I'll kind of look at some reference images, but everything else I'm happy with. This is, as I was doing this, I kind of got a little vibe from Fury of trying to do something kind of similar to that. And I like how it kind of slows down and almost stalls at the top a little bit, and then the rest of it's really pretty quick and fast paced. And now what I want to do is to end this episode, I want to show you a POV because you haven't seen a slowed down normal speed POV up to this point. So once again, thank you guys so much. Make sure to click on the link below and go build your own Giga. Because I know the creator would probably really, really enjoy that. I also would love to see it too. So if you want to build your own Giga, let me know. I definitely would love to check that out. But as you can see, this is just really, really well done, at least with the initial part. And so I'll see you on for the next episode for doing the custom supports and stuff. Thank you so much, and talk to you guys later.